Hello and welcome to Adventure Life with Bob. This next adventure is going to take us to the Kanab, Utah area, and we're going to explore some of the fascinating places to see when you're there visiting. I strongly recommend that you start your adventure with a visit to the Kane County Office of Tourism. It's located on 78 South and 100 East. You can't miss the building. It's very brightly decorated, as you can see in the picture. They have lots of brochures and maps of dozens of places to explore. Our first destination is a place called Hidden Lake. To find Hidden Lake, you turn off of the highway at Best Friend Sanctuary Road. It's about 5 miles outside of Kanab. About 3 miles down this road, you'll see a dirt road. This is where you turn and park. There's a small parking area where the hike begins. You can stop at the Welcome Center of the Best Friends and get a map there, which will be very helpful, and some directions. Hidden Lake, sometimes called Underground Lake, is a small natural lake nestled in a cave on the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary. Even though this lake is on private property, the sanctuary does allow you to visit. It's a narrow sandy road. It goes all the way to the lake. I strongly recommend you have four-wheel drive and a high-clearance vehicle. But if you get stuck, you'll wish you had four-wheel drive because it can be expensive to get a tow truck out there. There's a place to park, like I said. You walk up the narrow trail past the sign to the right for about 50 yards, and you come to a large underground cavern. The lake is inside this cavern, and though you have to stoop a little, it's not difficult to get inside. We didn't have great light. We just used the lights off our phones. It wasn't that difficult to see all the way back. I think I'd probably call it a grotto or a pond more than a lake, but it is a fascinating little piece of scenery. Another beautiful location is the Sand Caves. They're located a little over 5 miles north of Kanab on Highway 89. These sand caves are easily accessed and can be seen from Highway 89. There's a well-defined pull-off with signs for the parking for the sand caves. Parking lot's rather big, so you should have no problem pulling in there. The trail itself is well defined. Some articles I read say it's a half-mile round trip. I think it's probably closer to a mile. The trail is well marked, and you will go past the sand caves, will be on your right, and then work your way up to the slick rock. It is steep, so make sure you've got good solid shoes on when you go up that way. I'll have to apologize for my voice. I caught a cold. I was down in California, and I'm lucky to have a voice. So hope you can put up with that. These sand caves are man-made. Apparently they were mining for sand in the area. It was a very short-lived operation. Why on earth they would have to mine for sand in this area that sand is everywhere is beyond me. But what we have is this little series of caves and out, or it's hard to call it a cave, but I don't know what else to call it, but that's what we have, and they're kind of fascinating. Another great place to explore is called Belly of the Dragon. Again, it's fairly close to Kanab, about 8 or 16 miles, but it's quite the adventure. To get to Belly of the Dragon, you go north from Kanab about 16 miles on Highway 89, go past milepost 80 and across from the Zion National Park sign and turn left onto a dirt road. Continue on the dirt road for a very short distance, kind of veering to the left, and then you'll park at the top of the hill. Walking up the hill, you'll see the opening to the tunnel. Getting down in the tunnel, you do have to scramble a little bit through a very narrow gap through the concrete, and then jump down into the bottom of the tunnel. This tunnel was man-made. It's used as drainage for the upper canyons that feed into the North Fork River. A word of caution, don't enter here, the tunnel, if it's raining, even if there's rain up in the mountains, because they can have flash floods down through here. There's usually a little bit of water in the tunnel. We went through in March, and so there was water in there, but it was basically frozen, especially at the far end. So you have to be very careful as you walk along. Make sure you bring some type of a flashlight or use the light on your phone, because once you get way back in there, you can't see where your feet are going, and you'll stumble and trip and fall. But it's an absolutely fascinating place to walk through, and it does look like you're coming through the, I don't know if it was the belly of the dragon, but definitely through its throat. that concludes our 3 adventures in the Kanab area that we're going to cover on this video. Kanab is an absolutely fascinating place. Again, I suggest you stop at the visitor center there at Bureau and get some maps and some brochures. And stay tuned for our next video, which will be on the Kanab Peekaboo Slot Canyon. Thanks for watching.